We're at Brighton State Park. It's the 5th of July, 2013, and I am happy to be here as a host camper. My name is Liz Philbrick. My husband Mike is hosting with me, and we're in Site 30, and we're just a stone's throw from Spectacle Pond. Beautiful little pond where we have several loons nesting. I understand that some of them have already hatched their babies, and then one of them has been spotted with the babies on their back. We're going to go today, we're going to take a little trip down the Lorax Trail and also end up at the Dawn Eagle Museum, and you'll hear about those facts in a few minutes. In the 50s and 60s, did you ever hear of him, Dawn Eagle? He was Iroquois Indian wrestler.
Was he from here in Vermont?
He was from Quebec, but he lived here, and when he died, he
lived here in Island Pond?
Yes.
Okay.
He sold all this property to the state. So this was his land,
Okay.
Dawn Eagle.
Wow.
An Iroquois Indian.
Huh.
And if you
Is this
Google
part of the
him,
movie where
Yes, Bill.
if you Google Dawn Eagle, you'll see this beautiful photograph of him in his Native American regalia, and he was a very successful wrestler.
He sounds like a comedian.
Well, I don't know, I think, a lot of, he's like one stay a couple
Now that I
days or
found my
something.
way here,
Yeah,
maybe.
we're on our way now to the Garage Theater, where we have our science activities for campers. We've done, and we'll show you, hopefully you'll meet RJ, our naturalist, full-time naturalist. So. Let me see if it's up. This is where we have our science activities. They've been making paper, and you'll see there's an activity posted on the bathrooms, and he'll have 3 activities each day during the weekend. And the kids can come up here and, he does water safety. Yesterday he was doing water safety at 2. But he was on his way down, had to cancel because it was thunder and lightning. He goes, it'd be kind of like an oxymoron to be like teaching water safety and
in the middle of a thunderstorm.
in the middle of a thunderstorm.
Getting your voicemail from yesterday. You painted those?
Yeah, this is what I've done
How did
so
you
far.
do that?
Just with a paintbrush and
Paintbrush? No.
yeah, but I don't know where the other one is.
5 Iroquois nations in the St. Prince's Island.
This is Mike Sills, and he and his fiancee Kelly arrived a couple days ahead of us from Virginia, and they are working here at Brighton State Park this summer. And anyway, maybe Mike can tell you what his background is.
We moved here from Virginia, went to Christopher Newport University, and graduated in 2013, just a couple months before we came out here. I majored in history, so it doesn't really go along with what we're doing, but that's okay. And I'm a park attendant 3, so I kind of do all the daily park stuff, kind of help Eric and Bella while they're gone and have to do other stuff. So, but we really like it up here in Vermont. So.
Yeah, they were deciding whether Colorado or Vermont, right? That's
Yeah,
what I was telling
those are
you.
the 2.
And they made the right decision.
Interesting. I think it's invasive, so I'm gonna take it to
Yeah.
RJ. I can't
Oh
kill
yeah,
it
where is
myself.
he?
I think he's at lunch.
Okay, because
think.
we just went in there and did a little bit of videoing because we thought maybe we could get RJ on video.
Yeah.
Okay, we're standing in front of the ranger station here at Brighton State Park in beautiful Island Pond, Vermont. The most beautiful state park in the number of state parks in Vermont.
And the #1 state park in the whole system.
It is.
Yes, it is.
The most beautiful and #1. That's not official, but it may become official pretty soon.
It will
And
be.
on my left here is the park ranger, Eric. And on my right is the assistant park ranger, Bella.
Hello.
And on my far right is my spouse of 43 years, Mike. And I'm Liz, and we are the host campers here, and so happy to be here. Here at Brighton State Park, we have loons. And in the middle of the pond is an area that is restricted because there's loons nesting there. And right now we have some chicks that have been hatched. So they're out there too. And in the evenings here, even in our campsite, we can hear some
Loony chatter.
loon chatter, that's right. Very, yeah, Mike's going to be the comic relief, I'm sorry. Let me see. Okay, this is we're going on the Story Walk. And the Story Walk was a project that was created by Ann Ferguson of Montpelier, Vermont, and developed in collaboration with the Vermont Bicycle and Pedestrian Coalition and the Kellogg Hubbard Library. It combines children's books with the pleasure of walking together outdoors. And this is going to be the book that we're going to feature on our Story Walk today is The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. And many of you know that The Lorax was made into a movie, and it's about saving the tree. And yeah,
Really, it's been just, when you look at the forecast, it's like 6 days in a row.
I know.
But today was only 10% chance of rain.
Right.
Here and in Burlington.
And tomorrow's is about, but then it starts building up again.
Well,
Yeah.
let's not worry about it.
Ta How Ya. That's welcome in Sioux. And we're going to walk into this museum that is dedicated to Don Eagle. He was a Mohawk of the Iroquois Nation, and his tribe hunted, fished, and lived on this land. He owned this land until his death, and at that time the estate was sold to the state of Vermont, and now here sits Brighton State Park. Now, there's some cool artifacts in here. Here, Mike, you know Gene that you met this morning? He remembers Don Eagle, and he used to go, he said I said, was Don Eagle a good guy? And I don't know if you want to film this, and I said, was he a good guy? And or was he just a legend? And he said, he was a really good guy. He said that as a kid, Don had this big barn, and the kids would go and play in the barn. And he had swings in there for the kids to swing down off the loft or whatever you call it into the hay, and they would do that. But if a kid swore, he couldn't bear swearing or using bad language. So he would go up and pinch them. And once you got pinched like that, you never swore again. And he said when they had at the Catholic Church here, I don't know if he was Catholic or not, but when they had a festival or something, he would dress up in his Indian outfit and go up there and kind of, make an appearance for everybody. And all the town knew him and loved him. And I think he was just a really nice guy. And he was a professional wrestler, like I said before. There's also Indian legend about the Iroquois Nation used to camp here, and part of the Iroquois Nation, or 4 nations of the 5 nations. And they built a lodge, which is now all run down. And I haven't been there, but it's called Indian Point. It's one of the trails that Bill and I are going to walk on this summer, anybody else that comes here. But supposedly there was a burial ground here, Mike, right?
Yes.
And they built a hotel on the site of the burial. This is all legend, okay? Well, this is fact, that the hotel burnt down. And then they rebuilt it, and it burnt down twice and 3 times. So they gave up, and they think it was because it was cursed because it was, built on the Indian burial ground. They're getting together, actually, a book of Don Eagle because one of his best friends is still alive, and the park approached him about information about Don. And now we're going to continue on the Lorax Trail with my brother Bill and my husband Mike and several mosquitoes following me,
Yes,
which
they're
I will now put
starting to
my
get thicker.
hat on. Yeah, I think she had to go to the bathroom. Yeah, isn't that nice?
You can talk from here.
Bog like a small
I don't know anything about a bog. Well, I
It is a
do.
bog.
It's
Yeah.
wet.
It's wet and it's
This is the remnants of a little pond.
it's
probably.
an ecosystem. It's a separate little ecosystem, but
It's so beautiful. When you come in here, it's cooler, you know, it's
Yeah.
all the trees around
and
you.
listen
they-
to the birds.
Yeah, the birds.
Yeah, the
It's
birds.
almost
and-
like being on my front porch in March. My neighbors across the road came by and I said, come sit with me for a minute. So they came up and we visited for a little bit.
Oh, somewhere.
hold on. Maybe Sandy's got it. I don't think so.
Yeah, they're growing a lot more this year than previous
Yeah,
years.
the moisture.
I think pretty much every state park has a sandbox for the children, but since we have a sandy beach, we have a high-scale sandbox here at Brighton State Park, and this is our Zen garden. And many times I'll walk by and I see all kinds of sculptures made by these beautiful rocks, Vermont rocks.